Hello, Earth. Welcome to episode 43 of season 3 of Making Cell, a series of videos where I record myself designing and implementing a programming environment called Cell. If you're just tuning in for the first time, I recommend you go check out github.com/autocolonel/cell. I'm pasting now the link in the description. So I started late today, so this is going to be short. I don't know why I had such a great episode yesterday. Anyway, it's okay. I keep on making the same mistakes. Anyway, let's just. Yesterday we had probably the best episode in months, where basically we were working the expansions of a sequence and a loop, and I liked what came out really. I'm reviewing. This is a loop actually. So you have the output of the call here, and the sequence. This is the initialization of the variable. And then you have the loop, which gives you, I said nothing to fizz, and then fizz to bus. Having a single diff is a good argument for only passing one path at a time to put having a single diff as a response of put is a good reason to just pass one path to put. If you pass multiple, then you have to respond. Pass you can say. You call it with multiple paths, with multiple diffs. That wouldn't be too bad either. So yeah. So this is the core part. You have the loop that responds, and the loop has no expansion really in terms of the colon. And the loop is just placed like things are expanded inside. The sequence is expanded here into a list. Okay, harsh light of night. Looking at this again. So it'll be when you call a loop, it's is it do? No, it's what is it? It's sec part gets expanded into a list. This is okay. This is good. I think I can work with this. What's not explicit here is what I could do here is this. I can say that path is what? Phase 3. So that will give you the reference that you're lacking. Yes. Say to me, where have you been? here would be bus 5. The number gets taken from here. Yeah, this will work. Okay. And just put the colon on each of these steps so that the value of path is taken from there. So otherwise it wouldn't work, and also because you can see it. So is this actually, this is the big question, is this better than console log? I think it's better than console log. I mean, if you should just show me this all the time, I'm gonna have a hard time. So, but I think it's good because I can just go in and look. Sorry, this is wrong here. I did it in the wrong place. And also here. There. Yeah, that's it. This indentation is wrong here. Also here. So now for the harder question, is this expansion better than console log? I think so, but only if you don't show me the whole thing and rather let me either expand, expand, or search. I could go and look for what happens in the second part of the iteration of the loop, or I could search for bus and see where it appears in the expansion. So yes. Oh, hell, that's I mean, the expansion definitely still looks intense to me, but it's really expressing all the computation here. The noise, the only like real noise is in the results. Yeah, like seeing this one here, there's a lot of noise there. Addition happens only with those results that get propagated, responded really upwards, but you don't necessarily see them unless you expand them, unfold them. Okay, so what am I doing now? What am I doing in general? We need to have something that works well. is this a good enough general language for computation? Is this a good language? Yeah, also something that I read in an article. I forgot to copy the link, but is this a good language for thinking? That's an open question for me. But the answer should be yes, has to be yes. If it's not a good language for thinking, then I missed the mark. Missed the mark. Fire, fire, fire. So, I just think we need to go hard on cell and build things with it, and just see and build things and build things with cell can be just the design we can implement later. These things with cell and make it be highly demanding of it to be expressive, direct, and comfortable for tackling anything that I would think of doing. Case in point, HTML generation. So let's tackle that one again. So I had this, what was it? Yeah, here. Let's, yeah, let's just do it with it. UAB generates. Actually, we can write the validation function first, right? Validate input and then I do, sorry, I forgot. Oh yeah, it's just steps, right? Yeah, that's it. So I forgot, yeah. I was writing a lot of JavaScript today. so I'm validating this input. And of course I need to do sequence inputs. So it's this type of input here. Yeah, so I have an input here. Yeah, we need speed here. So I have an input and I'm just gonna do this. If it can really be of any type, because if you just give me a number or text, it's easier. There's only 4 types. So I'm comparing to Lith with this library, my first open source library, pretty much the beginning of this whole trip for me. The syntax is there broken because of these ones, but it's about what 270 lines, 270 lines of code for generating HTML from object literals. It also generates CSS, and I use it extensively. And this code is really battle tested. So I'm going to port the best ideas of this into the HTML generation for Cell. So if we can just start by storing the type, it can be like would be put. Sorry, add put type. Whether I need to set it, is it, yeah, a colon, it would be T, I need to set it to type of input. Yeah, it's a bit fourthy, this idea that just this gets resolved and then it gets passed here. I still feel like I'm walking down a narrow road here with some of the possibilities there, but for the most part, I think it could work, especially with all the feedback. You can see what's wrong. But yeah, it's definitely a narrow road. So I have the type there now in T, and then I can just do something like if okay, if cond will be conditional of no, I don't need that, sorry, I'm just slow. So if the condition is that it's a text or a number, then we're good, right? Yeah, absolutely. So it will be that has, we can just pass an operator called has. And so we have the lists would be number or text. If it's one of these, then we're going to do an early return, right? Or did I call that stop? This is a respond, but it could be just stop, but or res for response. I can do something like do res 1. Just respond with a 1. Because the stop is going to bubble up, right? Yeah. Or not. Did the stop bubble up or the error? No. No, I think the stop is just what I want. Oh, it's the stop. I even have it in implementation, I just forgot. Yep. I already have that. Wait for you. So it's fine if it's a number or a text. I belong. forgot to say what has the list. The value is t, right? If conv equal if it's equal to list, we can do this. So if this is a list, then it would be do. There's the recursive call. So it would be a loop. What did I call it earlier? Data and sequence. Yeah, brilliant. The data would be, yeah, I need to peel off each of the elements, right? No, I'm iterating the list. No, it's fine. I don't need to peel off anything. Winter long. So the sequence would be what am I doing? It would be you can just call it v as a value that I'm iterating. Although the iteration there is going to be interesting if I'm passing a list. Yeah, so yeah, I'm definitely testing the hard stuff here. So, but hey, I'm writing the validation already instead of skipping it. So I'm setting the value, and I am just what I can do is this, right? Can I do this? I mean, why not? That's what I would expect. It's going to be interesting to implement that one. And then, last case, I could just do an else, but I'm not going to do an else. Because explicit is better. If it's a hash, then yeah, I need the functions to peel off the path. It would be something like what? Well, here, what I need to do is I need to do a stop here, so it just stops there. Because I could just get rid of it, but no, I want it to be explicit on the branches, so no need to do that. And also no, I don't need here. So we have proper branches here. We don't do early return anymore, just to be more explicit. It's a different style. In any case, we should be able to, we are able to support both, I think. Well, we will. This looks really short. Yeah, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. Okay, at least I know that. switch the music a sec. I need to build the first element, right? And do should be able to take a sequence, I think. But you can do it, right? Yeah. This could be unified, perhaps. Ba-dum-bum. Mama. What do I want to do? I want to validate I have this big list. This am I logged in here? Yes. Right? Yes. Only this one has to. I forgot what I need the literal tag for. So I can just do like this. Tags. Oh, this is beautiful. Look at the data in there. Yes. I need to make something like at list. Something that breaks the path into a list. Yeah. This calls that take paths and make them into lists, or the other way around, or build them. This will be the main mechanisms of the transformation. And so that's what's shaping up now. I have all, and then I can have this void. It is done. It is done. Part of me wants to be done with all of this so I can implement something where I can analyze all Civilization 2 save games and and look at that and make it that. I just wanted to work already so I can like put the data in there, low noise, well, I would dare say no noise, an asymptotically minimum amount of noise, and then just do stuff. It is dense though, huh? It is dense, but I'm also not used to it either. All right, let's go. So how am I going to peel this? I'm going to say yeah, I need to pass a sequence. That's why I was thinking about it. I only realized I'm the last one to find out. It is time. It's easier just to do not has. HTML tag. So you have to find this. If it doesn't have this and the value is what? Mayweather. And the value is of course, yeah. What is the value? Input 0. Input 1. Sorry, yeah. A path is also a list. Why not see it like this? Let's just tackle this bull by the horns. We might as well have we would be hitting a good streak here. When you get a value, you in loop, you get either 1, 0 or more paths. Let's assume it's 1 or more. If you get one path and you know it, you just treat the path as a list. You can slice it and then send it to another call. Sure. And then if you get multiple ones, you have to do double accessing to get one value. So we need slice left, right, and also over one or many, and also see how many we let through. But we can just pass paths around. The question is, can we deal with paths as values without having to convert back and forth? Because there's this listy representation and then the data is there. Representation, for example, not the drift, what do I mean? Not the drift, the fork, the rift is there more clearly for a hash. But maybe these are just my old ways of thinking. in JS. I'm wondering about this. There's something I will about to discover. So here, in principle, I just pass the first element of the input. But input, we need to assume it could be multiple paths, so we can do it like this. Yeah, but no, we do need to convert it to something else because it's a hash. So I know, okay, don't come back to the ground. If you have a hash and then you do input 1, you'll get nothing because 1 is a number and hashes have yeah, texts as keys. So what do? So we do need to convert this data to a path. And by path, I mean to a list of paths. So the input would be like, I would do, what do you call it, paths. Because to list, it makes no sense. Maybe it makes sense. Maybe when you convert a hash to a list, what you do is you convert it to a list of paths and you work with the data in that format instead. It's not an internal representation, yes. It's just another very useful way to look at the data. That was the whole thing. And by having the normal type list, you don't have to add more operations just for that. It's all data and you find the natural representation for it. Yes, much better than going with timid accessors on objects. Wow, okay. I'm gonna get into a list. And there are not many cases. A number or a text, when converted to a list, they have just one element because they are one path. The only multiple value, complex value that is not a list is a hash. So this is the only place where you need to convert. That's it. And you can take the hash, make it into a list, slice all the lists inside the list, the paths, removing the, say, first element, and then you change the data and then you make it back into a hash. Yes. So you're just going back and forth from list to hash and back to list. It's all data. It's beautiful. Oh, all right. That's it? Is that it? I wasn't expecting this to go so well. Honestly, I'm very grateful. Yeah, yeah. I was afraid of this. I was afraid of it. I want of this internal representation and the hashes and how do I do this stuff. That is difficult in JavaScript. Although I've been working with JavaScript for so long, doing it, having my own functions to basically have paths. I call them paths. That's where the concept came from. So to access a nested object that is like hashes and lists and hashes inside to get a path to it. But then you have a list representation for it, which are the paths, and if you have the actual hash. That's it. In the list representation, you go positionally, reference. In hashes, you reference by value. That's basically. I know I said this before, and this is quite obvious, but I'm just saying it again. In like, why are you switching from one to the other? When you need to work positionally on the list, say remove a prefix, you make it into a list. When you need to access by value, instead of iterating with an equal, you can make it into a hash and just ring that. So that would be, I'm interested in the situations where a list can be converted to a hash. This would make sense for sets, or perhaps just yes for sets, and the left steps would be the values and the right ones would be perhaps the positions. But to convert it back to yeah, I'm not sure where I would use this yet. What I would use is to take a list of paths and make it back into that represent a hash, and then make it back into a hash. That for certain we could use. So perhaps hash could take exactly that, a list of paths that actually represent a hash. So we have this. So we have this, and then if it's not the case, do stop just pass a list of things to text, and I can just do it's the end of plus space quote. I can say list input 1 is not a valid tag. Yes. And take a list and we can return it, make it into the single text that separates them with single spaces. There are natural defaults for type conversion between values. There's a few practical everyday usages for them, much better than tricky meaningless I cannot even spell meaningless coercions. I'm getting too cocky there, at least I can see it. So I have this, yeah, bam, okay, I validated the tag. And now I need to slice those. Okay, I have a valid tag now. I don't think there's any restrictions in the attributes, are there? No, yes, there are. Never took a test. All right. I'm gonna stop here, but this is getting very intriguing. Yeah, let's just bring in regexes. Oh yeah. I'm gonna stop here. Thank you for watching.